Good morning, YouTube. Robert Firestone, 9:22 a.m., 3/19/2020. I find that this coronavirus, as soon as Trump, I think it's 16th or 17th, he mentions it on the news, and I'm in there. I'm in the wonderful state of West Virginia, the flyover state of West Virginia. As soon as he mentions it, 6 or 7 hours later, we get our first case. Then this morning, my fiance starts getting these pop-ups on her telephone saying that there's multiple cases down in and around Mercer County and Princeton. Something ain't jiving here, okay? I went and looked here a little bit ago just to see how many ways there was to spread the coronavirus, COVID-19. And I was looking just to see Yahoo. It kept coming back with only how not to spread, and that's all it had. That's all I could find. I mean, I'm sure I didn't search every index in Yahoo, but anyway, DuckDuckGo comes back to a place called JAMA, Chinese scientist cannot rule out indirect transmission. Anything that got lungs and it's a mammal, they're claiming that it could spread. Google come back the same as DuckDuckGo. Then I run across this website that's called listverse.com, listverse.com. They kept saying also that it could be spread by mammals. Okay, that's birds. Okay, if not saying that's what's happening. Okay, because we have had a big influx of birds because of springtime. Then we have had birds that travel, or we don't, because Mercer County and Princeton, not saying that there ain't people down there well off enough to travel the world. They're less likely to be traveling the world than somebody in New York or Chicago or LA. Just say it. And if we do have death walking the street, we need to know if this is some kind of game that's being played for us. Trump and his people and the so-called World Health Organization, I don't trust them. I don't trust the CDC, because we're talking about two agencies that is funded and run by all the wrong people. And they definitely don't have our best interest at heart, outside of them supposedly doing their job for our president. Okay, I don't trust them. That's just me. And like I said, if we got death walking the street, I find it kind of strange that death wants to show up within 6 hours of Trump telling asshole in New York that there wasn't no cases in West Virginia. There ain't no such thing as coincidence, remember? Or if this walking death is somebody that's a stranger in and around here and has a smile on her face, and people ought to, if they start seeing people, strangers showing up and going into odd places, for shits and giggles, if people starts seeing strangers show up and these strangers are blowing their nose irregularly, coughing irregularly, they're bebopping through the whole United States spreading this shit. Them individuals need to be yanked up, okay? At least tested. And if it is one of these little evil bastards that's been paid to do this to us, we need to jerk them up and drown them. Period. It ain't spreading hate. It's getting rid of a problem that, if nothing else, maybe yank them up and send them to the military and find out where they come from. Let the military handle them, I guess. I guess I'm too much of an old-fashioned idiot. There's these things called country parties. You fuck up around places like I live, you get invited to a party out in the middle of the woods nowhere, and 7 or 8 days later, somebody finds you tied to a tree, beat to death. That's just how it works. Or all of a sudden, the only DNA left is some teeth and some fingernails in a hog pen. So either it's going to have to be handled in, I guess, the correct ways, or there will be the wrong ways. Because it's going to get to a point to where if it gets too far out of hand, it might be a propaganda game and it might be a psyop. I can't say either way yet right now. I'm just pulling back the curtain and looking and proposing things that I've not heard yet, just like could it be being spread by birds? Because birds are mammals that I was taught, I thought. But anyway, I won't stay on here long as just proposing some other scenarios. And like I said, West Virginia, the state that nobody wants to come to or don't want nothing to do with, it seems like now all of a sudden it starts at the Panhandle, and that's one end of West Virginia. You look at the state map, and now all of a sudden it went from one end of the state up near D.C. or wherever up in there, all the way down to the bottom end of West Virginia. Okay, and I'm gonna propose this today. Okay, and this being 9:29 a.m. 3/18/2020. Where's the cases between the two? Or was there a death dealer walked in at the top at the Panhandle and one from off of the Virginia state line? Is that how it works? Two ends of the state and let it catch up in the middle? Is that how it's going on? People, I'd say be aware of strangers in your town right now. Because, or somebody releasing birds or something in and around your town that is not normal. Pigeon populations in these bigger cities is tremendous. And they're trying to say most of it's being spread by us. Okay? But everybody other than the young people are taking all the precautions. That my understanding is the mask and trying to stay away from people and this, that, and the other. So 2 and 2 is not adding 4. And like I said, I feel like there's something in play here that we're overlooking or not seeing, propaganda or a psyop, not knowing for sure which way it might be turning. But I think there needs to be some things brought out about this and discussed. But like I said, I'm pulling back that curtain and looking for other alternative paths, not trying to scare nobody, not trying to spread no rumors, not saying I'm of anybody of any significant value when it comes to life, death, or forethought, or trying to get something, dropping a match in a box of tinder. I'm not doing that. But if we've got a chance to see, hear, or maybe stop these people, if they are the deep state walking around trying to infect the whole United States just to get to Trump and get in that 18-year plan early that they had planned on, or 16-year plan early, keep going forward with it around behind Trump and around behind the military. If any way, shape, or form that we could help, we're going to be helping ourselves, not just Trump, but ourselves. Now, the $1,000 that's going to be spread out, my understanding, sometime early April, and there's supposed to be another payment in May. It'd be nice to actually collect $2,000. I could use it, I really could, but in the same token, it may wake up a lot of people that thinks the orange man's bad, and all the stickers and pins they done put on this fella, known as our president. And myself personally, there's always, it has been for me, and I'm pretty sure for most of y'all, there's always something bad happens before something good comes out. Don't know what the outcome's going to be on the upper end. I'm hoping it's the Garcia laws, and we get to shut down these idiots finally. And there's some that even speaks in the Bible of being brute beast that shouldn't be walking around us. Shouldn't even exist because they're I don't want to use a horse or a cow because they have more sense than some of these things that the Bible speaks of. But anyway, like I said, if we got a chance, yeah, I'm rubbing my eyes. I'm not running around with a damn corona. I always go through allergies this time of the year and my eyes itch. I get a little congested. I just went to the hospital here a week or so ago and had blood test. I'm sure if I had CV, I'd have known something about it. But anyway, it's just another veil to pull back and another question to answer, to ask, whether we get a straight answer or not. Like I said, something hit me this morning. Is this a psyop? Is this propaganda? Yeah, or do we actually have deep state puppets, baloney heads, walking around knowingly or unknowingly spreading this damn virus, being used like we always gotten used? Or is there something else going on? Or is it being spread some other way? All we can do is just wait and see, because I'm a big believer in birds. I like them. And in the last 3 or 4 days, I've been having crows coming around my house, and that's an odd thing for me. I've been here almost 5 years. Will be 5 years. Well, it is for 5 years, I think. But anyway, I notice every year. I had cardinals last year coming around the house, and they was pecking at the mirrors on my van all the time. And I've got cardinals this year and the females, but this year there's crows popping up everywhere. And I went and looked them up on the spiritual thing on crows, and I've started paying attention more to spiritual things in the last 10 years than I ever had in my life, even though there might be some things I shouldn't be looking at. But these crows popping up everywhere, and I'm hearing them. I went and looked them up. They got a good omen and a bad omen. Also, you're supposed to pay attention to their characteristics while they're around you to see what direction maybe the good or bad omen could be going in. Then focus your mind on the good of something that you're looking forward to direct the so-called magic or the good medicine. Like I said, there's a lot of things that in history taught our forefathers a lot of things about this earth and the things going on around them. because we live in a world of the four hidden dynasties, and religion being one of them is so bastardized it ain't funny. I hate to say it to most of them, but it's the case. And I do believe there's a lot of things that was taken away from us, taken from our Bible that should have been left in the Bible. But that's just my beliefs. Peace to y'all, y'all. Keep your heads up. Well, keep your head positive and move forward in your life, because we can't quit living. And I just think there's something more here. And that's not me being paranoid. I think there's more here than what's being told. That's just my belief. And I believe there's a lot of us out here that's seeing this and got this feeling that there is something going on, more so than we can see, because we got to judge what we hear and see and gauge it to know if there's any truth in it. And that depends on each, every one of us in our own way to gauge our own truth, because there's so many people out here already that's so easily manipulated mindly with this, they've got no way to know. And then Google started playing this game, and Yahoo and a few others. Who's to say that this ain't a psyop? Just like it got so bad with Oprah Winfrey being arrested that she got on Twitter telling everybody she wasn't. Okay, uh, for whatever reason she is or she isn't, it don't really matter. The company that this woman kept and still keeping is some evil demonic bastards. Okay, there's a lot of history behind her and a lot of shameful things and disgusting things that she can play any game she wants to play. And if and so these things are true, um, she's got, there's pictures of her everywhere with Weinstein, pictures of her with Bill Clinton, pictures of her with Epstein. Okay, pictures worth 1,000 words. And her to claim that she didn't know none of this was going on, that's a lie. Then they catch her after her little spiel on the stage where she's talking about balance. As soon as she started talking about balance, I think the Lord swept her feet out from under her ass. And somebody called a picture of her in the parking lot, them carrying her or walking her to a car or limo. And the old girl's got 6 toes. And anybody understands the 6 toes thing, they'll understand what I'm talking about. It relates back to our Bible about the giants. I just there's no coincidence, and when they relate themselves to a coincidence, we better rip back and start realizing that they're trying to fool us. All right, peace to all y'all. Have a good day and go forth and live.